Teen News at 9.
Fear is spreading faster than the virus.
Confessions of a Louisiana lawmaker, why officials in the South say there is no need to panic over coronavirus. And who is most vulnerable when it comes to contracting COVID-19? We'll break down the populations most at risk. Plus, when to have the conversation with your kids about the coronavirus. We'll share some best practices from mental health professionals. Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. First on Fox, the latest as we continue our coverage on the coronavirus outbreak. The entire ArkLaMiss is now on the map with presumptive cases. Only 4 states, Alabama, Alaska, Idaho, and West Virginia, have no confirmed cases, but officials there are prepared for that to change. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee was the first to declare a state of emergency, opening up funding. And here at home, officials with the Louisiana Department of Health say there are now 14 cases of COVID-19 in the state. Here's a look at the 5 parishes that are included. They are Caddo, Jefferson, Lafourche, Orleans, and St. Tammany. Cases are currently being monitored in those parishes. Presumptive cases remain classified as such until confirmed at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta. The CDC can take several days to return test results to the state. And up in Arkansas, Governor Asa Hutchinson just announced that the state now has 6 presumptive positive coronavirus cases. 4 counties total are included in this latest announcement. They're Pulaski, Saline, Jefferson, and Grant counties. Schools in those 4 counties will close starting tomorrow and remain closed through March 27th. And a presumptive COVID-19 case has been reported in Mississippi. That's according to the state's Department of Health. It was reported in Forest County. Officials say the patient is a man who had recently traveled to Florida.
We've identified our first case of COVID-19 in Mississippi. This is not unexpected. We have expanded our surveillance now for quite some time to be able to identify our first case in the state.
Lawmakers from the South say there is no need to panic, even as the coronavirus has reached into their region. Jesse Tenor reports.
Fear is spreading faster than the virus.
As officials limit travel, close schools, and cancel high-profile events, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy wants to make one thing clear.
We're not all going to die.
Kennedy says health experts tell him most Americans won't get the virus, and most of those who do will survive.
This isn't China. This isn't Iran. We got the best doctors and nurses and hospitals in the universe.
President Trump continues to push for a payroll tax cut to bolster the economy after announcing a travel ban from most countries in Europe. Arkansas Republican Bruce Westerman says Congress will work with the White House on policies that make sense.
I hope we look back in history and say we overreacted to this, but we don't want to look back in history and say we didn't do enough.
Right now, Democrats say they don't think the Trump administration is doing enough.
South Carolina Congressman Joe Cunningham says Democrats' paid sick leave proposal would protect public safety and the economy.
People shouldn't be having to make a decision of whether or not they have to go into work to pay their bills when they're sick.
Democrats are also pushing for free virus testing, which Tennessee Republican David Kustoff supports.
They need to know whether they've got the flu, the sniffles, or maybe, in fact, if they do have the coronavirus.
HUD Secretary Ben Carson, a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, hopes more testing will ultimately show the death rate is not as high as some believe.
The key, obviously, is to get rid of the silly thing as soon as we possibly can.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
The Louisiana State Legislature is taking precautionary steps to address the threat of COVID-19 at the state capitol during its ongoing 2020 regular legislative session. The president and speaker have also implemented additional sanitization protocols around the capitol and encourage everyone to take the proactive steps recommended by the CDC to protect the health of themselves and those around them. The legislature plans to file the contingency package next week, but remains on schedule to debate the budget and all other bills as they typically have in previous years. New at 9, many hospitals and nursing homes around the country are starting to limit visitation hours simply because those who are most vulnerable to the virus are the elderly. Experts say 80% of people who get coronavirus will have cases that are mild and might not even go to the hospital. The other 20% are those who have weak immune systems and will need further evaluation.
We are concerned about older populations, older people who might also have some chronic illness such as heart disease, lung disease.
Doctors say interaction with those who are vulnerable is a big way to help stop the spread of COVID-19. They also say it's not necessary to wear a mask outside if you aren't going to be in a confined space with someone who's sick. The rapid spread of the coronavirus has sparked alarm worldwide, and now we're seeing children being inadvertently affected. That's why counselors say parents should begin having conversations with their kids about the pandemic. They say try to simplify the virus and its effects to your younger children. And for those that have high school-aged and college-bound kids, give them alternatives to having fun, especially if the virus has affected their spring break plans. The important thing they advise parents is to remain calm, don't be afraid, and give your kids the facts.
Parents have got to calm down because we're setting examples, for our kids about how to act, how to respond. So we have to, get our own anxiety under control so that we can help our kids through this.
Williams recommends parents who are unable to have this conversation with their child should take them to speak with a counselor, pastor, or family friend that they can trust. Continuing coverage, drivers can expect to see lower prices at the pump. That's according to Patrick DeHaan, a petroleum analysis for GasBuddy. He says the value of oil has been cut nearly in half. It's been an unprecedented week with major oil distributors in Russia and Saudi Arabia not being able to come to an agreement on oil prices and production. The coronavirus outbreak has only added to the factors driving gas prices down. DeHaan said gas prices will drop in nearly every nook and cranny of the country, from the smallest cities to the largest metros. At a time of year, the prices are usually rising. We'll see anything but that. The lowest price we've seen on any March 9th in the past decade was back in 2016. Prices then fell to $1.65 a gallon. Coming up on Fox 14, we're taking a break from our COVID-19 coverage to bring you some feel-good news. Coming up, we'll explore Morehouse Parish to reveal what makes it unique to Louisiana. That's in this week's edition of Destination Louisiana.
Attention Dish Network subscribers. Don't sit still. Don't get locked out. You could soon lose the full range of our programming you pay for. This means losing critical weather and breaking news coverage from NBC 10. Your favorite NBC programs, America's Got Talent, This Is Us, Chicago Wednesday, and the Summer Games. Don't get locked out of the programming you pay for. Take action now. Call 800-333-3474 and tell Dish Network to keep KTVE NBC 10.
News sponsored by Go Auto Insurance.
For the latest news on farming and energy that affects us right here at home, watch the Ag Energy Report.
The Ag and Energy Report, weekdays at 7 on Fox 14, your morning news, sponsored by Goldman Equipment. Start your day with Fox 14, your morning news.
Preparing you and your kids for the day with the Bus Stop Forecast, showing you how to plan.
The Bus Stop Forecast on Fox 14, your morning news, sponsored by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
It's in our blood. It's in our sweat. It's in our genes. We are Cavenders, and this is how we live.
Don't look good.
Yeah, it looks like it's both. Just what I don't need.
This is what you do need.
Complete the application within minutes, and if approved, you may get the money you need as soon as the same business day. Get the cash you need fast. Apply online today. Go to CashNetUSA.com.
This is big, double dozen big. It's Captain D's new double dozen shrimp. Yeah, you heard that right. 2 dozen golden, crispy shrimp piled high on one plate. Time to double down when the captain is coming. Captain D's.
It's Ford Truck Month, and if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now, get great deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 43 years.
Like F-150 with 0 for 72 and $3,750 bonus cash plus 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Only at your Southern Quality Ford dealer.
I used to have to go in
to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online, rock auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Friday on Fox 14, your morning news, Cheddar's is cooking up a delicious pot pie to feed your soul as the rain heads in.
And speaking of rain, Lexi's breaking down the showers clouding our weekend. That's Friday, starting at 7 right here on Fox 14, your morning news.
Louisiana is the sportsman's paradise, and nowhere is that more true than in North Louisiana. We're taking a trip to Morehouse Parish, where for more than 3 decades, a family-owned business has been luring in southern hunters with the promise of big fun and huge winnings with their annual Big Buck contests. Fox 14's Michelle Martin takes aim at this story.
It's a contest like no other, and it rolls around once a year.
It is a free contest, which most of the contests across the country are not. Most of the contests you have to pay an entry fee of some kind, and they don't have nearly as many categories as we supply.
For 31 years, Simmons Sporting Goods has been putting on the Big Buck Contest, luring people from all over the South to right here in Morehouse Parish. The Big Buck Contest is the largest contest of its kind in the nation. Glenn Myers is the marketing consultant for Simmons. He's been part of the contest since the beginning, and he says each year has been bigger than the last, and for good reason. The prize packages are insane.
We'll have soft goods, things such as clothing. We'll have footwear. We'll have a lot of the hard goods that they use out there, feeders, deer stands, cameras, calls, all sorts of things that guys use to support their habit.
And one lucky winner gets to ride off into the sunset on a high-powered ATV.
We have given away a Yamaha Kodiak 700 four-wheel drive. Those retail for somewhere in the neighborhood of like $7,500, $8,000.
Glenn estimates that upwards of 5,000 people attend the contest, which is essentially turned into a festival. There are live performances, a kids section complete with face painting, and food trucks to feed the masses.
We offer something here that just can't be found anywhere else.
More than the contest is the love of hunting. Louisiana is the sportsman's paradise, and Glenn says North Louisiana has something for everyone.
We have our own bayous. We have our own culture. We don't have that Cajun accent, but we have things that we do celebrate, and this is one of those things. It's something that even people from southern Arkansas or parts of Mississippi, they come over and enjoy as well.
And don't forget tradition.
It's something that you pass on. It's something that generations have had to enjoy. It's something that's part of our pastime. It's part of our culture. So we celebrate that.
Glenn says Simmons is proud to help keep that tradition alive.
And, they might take 30 minutes out of their schedule and say, we're going to go to Simmons, and it ends up being, a couple of hours before they get out of here. It's hard to leave from here once you get inside.
Did you just call Simmons the target of hunting stores?
Absolutely.
Well, you'll want to hurry up and get your tickets for the St. Jude Dream Home. Nearly half of the tickets are already sold. For just $100, you have a chance to win a brand new $410,000 home. The home is being built in the Egret Landing subdivision in Sterlington by Braco Construction. You can buy your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket today by going to our website, myarklamiss.com, or by calling 800-726-9874. Michelle had so much fun with that story. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
The target of hunting stores?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
amazing. Yeah.
And maybe time to do some shopping across parts of the Arklamis as the weather cooperates. But, of course, wash your hands. Across much of the region, we're keeping an eye on thunderstorms, especially to our north. A full look at the forecast next on Fox.
Thanks, Jared. Also coming up on Fox 14, Hollywood is now feeling the effects of the COVID-19 outbreak. How this could impact your entertainment. Coming up.
How would you like to consolidate your credit card bills, all loans, medical bills, all your bills into one payment of just $100 per month? That's the power of bankruptcy. If you qualify, just $100 per month. Call the bankruptcy specialist, E. Oram Young.
The
a chance. An open look for three. Time running out. Drives the lane. Oh!
Time's running out. Get to Nissan now for big savings on our entire lineup, like the award-winning Rogue and Altima. It's car buying season. Hurry to Nissan, official partner of the NCAA. Save up to $2,750 or get 0% financing for 36 months on the 2020 Nissan Altima. Get to Nissan now.
The area's premier full-line glass shop is AAA Glass. Since 1978, AAA Glass has been at the forefront of the glass industry with the most experienced installers and the most advanced equipment and technology. We install for homes or businesses, including frameless shower enclosures, vinyl windows, and commercial storefronts. Ask us about 12 or 24-month financing. AAA Glass, proudly serving the Twin Cities and surrounding areas for over 40 years.
Have we got our game plan out? Hold on there. Okay. All right, here it is. We got the new Bayrack Shrine Circus coming in here on the 20th. All right. We're going to have one show, the 21st, 3 shows, and the 22nd. 2 shows. And that's in March. We're going to go down I-20, and we're going to come around here to the eye. Now, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Whoa, wait. What's this? Whoa. We're in the wrong locker room.
Oh.
I'm Dr. Marshall Sanson of Sanson Family Medicine in West Monroe, Louisiana. We're not just a family practice clinic. We're also a 7-day-a-week walk-in clinic.
If your doctor is too busy to see you today, come see us.
From coughs to colds to urinary tract infections, we're open 7 days a week so that we can take care of you today.
Our family taking care of your family. Sanson Family Medicine.
Hey, it's Danielle Mendoza here of Legacy of Farmerville, and we are so excited about March Madness that we're coming in slam dunk on these deals, like a 2020 Chevy Trax for only $69.85. Looking for a fast break deal? Well, check out this 2020 GMC 1500 4x4 for $14,000 off. At Legacy, we're so confident in our prices. Shop us against anyone.
Check them out online or drive a little and save a lot at Legacy of Farmerville.
How would you like to consolidate your credit card bills, all loans, medical bills, all your bills, into one payment of just $100 per month? That's the power of bankruptcy. If you qualify, just $100 per month. Call the bankruptcy specialist, E. Orem Young.
Doppler Radar, sponsored by bankruptcy attorney E. Orem Young. Now, Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
Look at the live Storm Tracker Doppler Radar brought to you by E. Orem Young. You see the storms across central portions of Arkansas now translating southward a little bit. I will say that the severe weather threat starts to decrease a little bit as we lose daytime heating and daytime sunshine. So as the atmosphere starts to cool and stabilize tonight, and also as the front perhaps undercuts some of these thunderstorms, we'll see the severe weather threat continue to decrease, and that's as expected. In fact, we're starting to see a lot of what was severe thunderstorm warnings earlier in the night translating now to flash flood warnings, as a lot of these storms are training over the same areas as kind of the tail end of this activity runs parallel with the front, and as it kind of drags eastward, it's carrying a lot of these storms over the same areas over and over. And again, most of this is well outside of our viewing area, but you start looking into portions of Ouachita County, Calhoun County, and into Union County. We'll keep an eye on this activity as it generally skirts off to the east and southeast. At this point, doesn't look to be a big issue, and again, expecting it to really become more of a rain threat over the next couple of hours. And generally, for most of our area, these storms will continue to collapse before they reach deeper into the ArkLaMiss. Look at the loop in our area, and again, cloud cover continues to kind of fill back in, and that'll be an issue as we head through the late night hours tonight, as showers also start to return to the area. All of this a part of a frontal system which is kind of getting overtaken by a new storm system that will basically bring a resurgence of the same. More of the stalled, slow-moving cold fronts across the area. But it is technically kind of a new front that is kind of overtaken the old one that stalled across much of the region through most of the week. Southerly winds, and again, note the scattered showers and thunderstorms, but as the front starts to kind of undercut and outrun a lot of this rainfall, an upper level disturbance will continue to push a lot of the moisture up and over the front and really just leaves us with general shower activity as we head into the mid to late morning hours tomorrow. Most of that, again, confined into southern Arkansas. Front continues to press south. Note temperatures falling off into the 50s in North Louisiana, perhaps even into the upper 40s in South Arkansas. And then as we head into the late Friday afternoon time frame, southerly winds return as an upper disturbance starts pushing this front back to the north, setting us up for a warm day on Saturday. Not too bad, but then also more storms back in late Saturday, early Sunday. So unsettled to say the least. Mid-70s across the area at this hour. We'll look for lows tonight in the low 60s. Scattered storms possible, especially over the next few hours. Winds will stay light out of the southwest. High temperatures tomorrow. Mid-60s, but those high temperatures may be met by 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll see temperatures fall into the 50s, some spots perhaps even into the 40s by the end of the day. Winds will be breezy out of the northeast. Look at the rest of the forecast as we head through the next 7 days. Again, those storms back in late Saturday, early Sunday. It will be hit and miss rainfall this weekend, not a complete washout. Could be rain-free on Monday before a new storm system kind of stalls to the southwest of us, and that could bring waves of rainfall in next week. We'll keep an eye on the heavy rain threat, but we'll also keep an eye out on the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms, maybe by next Wednesday or Thursday. A little too early to speculate yet, but something we'll be watching in the next 7 days.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jared.
You bet.
Coming up on Fox 14 News at 9, the latest sporting event to be canceled due to the COVID-19 public health threat. And a roller coaster on Wall Street will tell you which stocks tumbled after President Trump imposed a 30-day ban on travel to Europe.
What does innovative heart care mean to Marlon Davis? It means getting back to shooting hoops with his son, maintaining his renewed devotion to exercise and a healthy lifestyle, and most of all, spending time with his family. All thanks to the healthcare heroes and exceptional care at Willis Knighton Heart and Vascular Institute. Always here.
Here at Magnolia Estates in Vicksburg, Mississippi, we have one of the largest inventories in the South. Why come to Magnolia Estates? If you want to pay the least, you've got to drive east. When you cross the river, Magnolia Estates will deliver. The best service, the best prices, and the best selection. So now that you know, come see us soon.
Every year, people are injured or killed when their work equipment touches a power line. More than chainsaws, accidental falls, even worksite explosions. If you must work near power lines, please call 1-800-ENERGY and we'll make sure it's safe. Keep your distance. Keep your life. Entergy.
Need service? Need a repair? Click, call, or visit Ryan Chevrolet's Express Service Department. Quick, easy, convenient, quality parts, factory-trained technicians, no appointment necessary. We service all makes, all models. Ryan Chevrolet's Express Service Department offers the most competitive prices in town. Get a 6-quart synthetic oil change and tire rotation for $59.95, or an 8-quart synthetic oil change and tire rotation for $69.95. Click, call, or visit Ryan Chevrolet's Express Service Department.
Fox 14 News at 9 continues.
While hand washing is important to prevent the spread of coronavirus, the good news is the type of soap you use may not matter very much. The FDA says the benefits of antibacterial soap simply have not been proven, and that there is not a significant difference between antibacterial soaps and plain soap and water. Washing your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water is enough to prevent the spread of most illnesses and infections. Now to more consumer news. The coronavirus pandemic is triggering a daily roller coaster for the markets. The New York Stock Exchange resumed trading this morning after a 15-minute halt shortly after opening. U.S. stocks plummeted into bear market territory. Wall Street investors are worried about the scale of the pandemic and its economic consequences. And airline stocks tumbled after President Trump imposed a 30-day ban on travel from most of Europe. Meanwhile, the New York Federal Reserve is pumping more than $1 trillion into the market. $500 billion will be offered in a 3-month repo operation Thursday. Another $500 billion for a 1-month repo operation will be available starting Friday.
Well, as you're probably aware, it's tax season. We've all had those moments where we're expecting a fat refund check and end up with nothing. Today, Maribel Aubers breaks down how to avoid costly common tax filing mistakes.
Expecting a refund from the IRS and anxious to get that check? Well, make sure you don't rush filing your tax return and make any costly and potentially time-consuming errors. USA Today looked at some of the common mistakes people make during tax season, and a lot of them have to do with the basics, like making sure your name and address are correct. If you made a change to your name or moved, double-check to see that the new information is reflected in your federal and state returns. Double-check your bank account and routing numbers if you're getting your refund via direct deposit. And make sure you're reporting all the income you earn that is subject to tax. So if you've so-called 1099 income, make sure it's all being reported. And check your math. Math errors are among the most common mistakes. And don't forget to sign your forms. An unsigned tax return is not considered valid. Making even the smallest mistake on your tax return could result in a delay of many months, maybe even a year for your return to be processed and for you to get that refund check. For more on common tax filing mistakes and how to avoid them, check out the full story at usatoday.com.
Well, coronavirus is causing Apple to scrap its next iPhone launch event. The presentation was planned for March 31st, with plans to reveal a new lower-priced phone that may be named either iPhone 9 or iPhone SE2. The debut was called off in part to reduce the risk of spreading the coronavirus, according to tech blog Cult of Mac. As reported in the New York Post, the blog said it wasn't clear if the event will be rescheduled. Apple's headquarters are located in Santa Clara, California, which recently banned events involving 1,000 or more people for the rest of the month. And March Madness is over before it even started. Thursday, the NCAA canceled both the men's and women's basketball tournaments. The decision comes a day after the organization announced the games would be closed to fans. Fears over the growing coronavirus outbreak sparked the move. According to a statement from the NCAA's president, all remaining winter and spring championships are also canceled. Officials say rescheduling the events would be impractical during this academic year. NASCAR fans will have to watch from home for the next 2 weekends. The sanctioning body announced today that races at Atlanta Motor Speedway and Homestead Miami Speedway will go on, but without any fans in attendance due to the coronavirus pandemic. NASCAR tweeted the announcement saying the race will be restricted to competitors, crews, officials, and other necessary personnel. The Atlanta Motor Speedway was in the process of adding hand washing stations throughout the facility and planned to hand out free hand sanitizer. And Disneyland in Southern California will close. Disney Parks released a statement saying there have not been any cases of COVID-19. The company says it made the decision to close after reviewing Governor Gavin Newsom's executive order. The governor recommended cancellation of gatherings of 250 or more people. Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure will close beginning March 14th and last through the end of the month. Well, from movie release dates being pushed back to A-list stars testing positive for the coronavirus, Hollywood is now feeling the effects of the COVID-19 outbreak. Fox's Christina Coleman has the story.
Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson are now in isolation at the Gold Coast University Hospital in Australia after the actor announced they tested positive for coronavirus. The two-time Oscar winner is the most famous entertainment figure yet to report he has the virus, saying via social media, quote, "We felt a bit tired, like we had cold and some body aches. Rita had some chills that came and went, slight fevers too. To play things right, as is needed in the world right now, we were tested for the coronavirus and were found to be positive." Tom and Rita, both 63 years old, are in Australia for the pre-production of the Baz Luhrmann-directed biopic about Elvis Presley. Hanks is playing Presley's manager. Warner Brothers has suspended production, which began in January.
Our darkest fears.
The studio also confirming it has suspended production on the teenage drama Riverdale that films in Vancouver.
Just sit back and enjoy this.
The effects of the outbreak are being felt across Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Daytime talk shows like The View and Live with Kelly and Ryan began filming without their studio audiences. And Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon will follow suit starting Monday.
Looking good.
Fast fans will have to wait until next year to see the latest installment. The upcoming film F9, scheduled to be released in May, becomes the latest film to be pushed back. being released in April of 2021 due to the coronavirus. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has put a ban on gatherings of more than 500 people, effectively shutting down all Broadway shows for the immediate future. In Hollywood, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Still to come on Fox 14 News at 9, the president says he's handling the virus outbreak. Democrats in Congress say not so much. The latest on the toll of the coronavirus in the nation's capital. And we'll tell you why Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is closing his office in Washington, D.C. Keep it right here on Fox 14.
With the PF Black Card, I get all the perks. So you get a free guest, massage chairs, and can visit any Planet Fitness anywhere? Anywhere.
Zero down, $22.99 a month. Deal ends March 16th.
Join any of our 4 area locations for Zero Down. Offer ends Monday, March 16th.
Think local and Fiesta Nutrition Center first when choosing supplements and wholesome foods. Our ever-expanding superfood market stocks the most reputable brands, and our knowledgeable staff is here to serve. Shop Fiesta Nutrition Center in Monroe.
So Dish lets you share your TV with your family on multiple devices. Why?
Sweetie, forgot something.
Thank you. Because we know one thing's for sure. It's a little less scary leaving home when you can take a little bit of it with you.
Share your TV on 5 devices. No extra charge. Dish. Tuned in to you.
At Century Next Bank, we don't just do business in our communities. We invest in them. And that means investing in you. We are here for all the moments in your life. The life experiences that define you. When a bank becomes more than a checking account or a loan, we are here. Century Next Bank. What's next for you?
It's game time, and everyone's game is at Tilt Studio. Over 60,000 square feet of fun for all ages, for the young and the young at heart. Over 150 arcade games, blacklight, golf, laser tag, mini bowling, amusement rides, bumper cars, and more. A great place for team building, group events, fundraisers, company meetings, family reunions, birthday parties, anything. Our concession area has all you need to refuel for another round of fun. No admission, open 7 days a week. Tilt Studio, fun at full blast. Pecanland Mall, Monroe.
It's the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event at the new Twin City Outdoor Superstore.
Your Call Sam forecast first with Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
Time-lapse radar still showing strong thunderstorms moving through portions of western and now southern Arkansas, still outside of our viewing area. No active severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're starting to see some flash flooding concerns. Still some gusty winds on the leading edge. We'll watch and see if it potentially could impact our southern Arkansas counties over the next few hours. Lows tonight dropping back into the low 60s. Temperatures slowly falling through much of the day tomorrow, with rain still expected through the early part of the day and temperatures in the afternoon expected in the 50s. That's your forecast first for this half hour. Fox 14 News at 9 continues.
You're watching Fox 14 News at 9 with Sarah Scarlett, Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd, and Sports with Chris Demersion.
Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. Topping our second half hour on Fox, the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow worldwide. Here in the U.S., more than 1,300 cases have been confirmed. And in Congress, more and more offices are closing up as lawmakers and their staff are sent to work from home. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest.
We're in great shape compared to other places. We are in really good shape, and we want to keep it that way.
President Trump remaining optimistic about his administration's handling of the coronavirus spread in the U.S., a day after he announced travel restrictions between the U.S. and Europe.
Frankly, the testing has been going very smooth.
On Capitol Hill, a number of lawmakers do not share the president's view.
But no one's satisfied with where we are right now. We've got a long way to be able to go to be able to get rapid, efficient testing, because right now people just want to know, do I have it, do I not have it?
While some allies are standing behind President Trump's decisions.
The president's on it. He's on it like a hobo on a ham sandwich, as we say. I think he's on it in terms of the economy, and I think he's on it in terms of public health.
Health experts have been briefing members of Congress.
Their problem now may be our problem tomorrow. So we've got to act like there's going to be a problem.
The House continues to work on legislation to deal with the financial strains of the virus.
We should not
just take a rush just because there's a bill. We want to make sure it works in the process of where we're going.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she has tried to work with Senate Republicans and the White House as her members draft the bill.
We don't need 48 hours. We need to just make a decision to help families right now. I'm not sticking around because they don't want to agree to language.
Senate Leader Mitch McConnell announced their scheduled recess would be canceled. While they're off this weekend, the Senate would stay in session next week to deal with the virus outbreak. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The last 24 hours have been a whirlwind of activity and new information, almost overwhelming at points. Wednesday was definitely a tipping point for the virus. Let's take a look at how we got to this point. The first known patient started experiencing symptoms on December 1st, 2019. On December 31st, the World Health Organization learned of a mysterious pneumonia sickening dozens in China. On January 11th, 2020, China reports its first coronavirus death. On January 21st, the first confirmed case of coronavirus was reported in the U.S. On January 30th, the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency. On February 5th, a Diamond Princess cruise ship was quarantined with more than 3,600 passengers. On February 26th, the U.S. reports its first case of suspected local transmission of COVID-19. On February 29th, the U.S. reports its first death. On March 3rd, U.S. officials approved widespread coronavirus testing. And on March 9th, the first case of presumptive coronavirus is reported in Louisiana. On March 11th, Governor John Bel Edwards announced the suspected local transmission of COVID-19 in Orleans Parish. And today, we now have 14 presumptive cases in Louisiana. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy sounds off amid fears and a growing number of cases in Louisiana. He urges residents in the state to focus on facts and to remain level-headed.
I would encourage people to concentrate on what we know. What do we know? We know, number one, everybody's not going to get the virus. Number two, everybody's not going to die.
Meantime, Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas announced he's temporarily closing his office in Washington, D.C. because of the coronavirus. He noted an aide at another Senate office tested positive. He said the move is to protect the health of his workers and stop the spread of the virus. Senator Cotton says his staff will work remotely. And Louisiana's statewide 211 network is now answering calls of concerned residents about COVID-19. Anyone looking for information about the outbreak can simply dial 211 or text LA COVID to 898-211 for the most current information about the outbreak as it becomes available. Louisiana Department of Health is asking residents to use this instead of the current general information line. Residents can get written answers to frequently asked questions online. The website is la211help.org. And in world news, Europe is pushing back against President Trump's travel ban, saying it won't help stop the coronavirus outbreak. Fox correspondent Greg Palcott has more from London.
More than 125,000 people infected, and coronavirus is still spreading. It's now in more than 100 countries around the world. The Mideast reporting a big spike in cases overnight, led by Iran, where more than 9,000 have tested positive. But the virus seems to be spreading more quickly in Europe. President Trump announcing a European travel ban on Wednesday, prompting strong condemnation from some leaders who say the president isn't basing his decisions on science.
We're following the advice of the chief medical officer. Follow the scientific advice. And that's what Donald Trump should be doing.
The ban doesn't include the UK, and American citizens are exempt, but it's still causing a lot of confusion and long lines at airports as Americans rush to get home before the Friday deadline.
We spoke with one of the agents downstairs, and she said there'd be no more flights after tomorrow.
President Trump is not letting people come back after Friday, so we're here at the ticket counter trying to make sure that we can get back to America.
And within Europe, some countries are now adding their own travel restrictions. Italian officials complaining that traffic from Italy is being held up at the Austrian border. The World Health Organization says limits on movement won't help, and containment is still the best way to minimize the outbreak.
We still believe that containment is possible, so countries should test people, should look for people who are infected.
The travel ban is expected to last 30 days, but the president says it could be lifted earlier if the outbreak is contained. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
And now on a different note, Jared joins us from the Weather Center. Jared, the past couple days have been really nice, but it's going to change, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do kind of trend cooler tomorrow, kind of a rainy day across the region as well.